guys, and welcome back to the Irish Hotspur for the post-match fan show as Tottenham beat Portsmouth 1-0 in the third round of the FA Cup as we progress to the fourth round. A lot of mixed reactions on today's performances. Some people are telling me, Dave, calm down, it's not that bad, this, that, and the other. And some people disappointed with the level of performances, but a lot to discuss. Look, it's not all negative. Gil Sarr, I think, could come out with a bit of respect for themselves. We're through to the next round, but I don't think there's a lot of things that we shouldn't ignore going further, because ultimately it's performances like this that do see us getting knocked out of the fourth or the fifth round, a bit like last season. In fact, last season it was worse when we had our first team out. So I do think there's a lot of issues we can't ignore. But Jack, how are you, my man?
I'm doing okay, Dave. I'm kind of like you, where at first my initial reaction was just like, that was dreadful, that was horrible, please get me out of here. And at the same time, maybe with, as minutes pass by, I understand that it's also the FA Cup, right? It's not always supposed to be straightforward. It's not always going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
And we're able to just move on to the next round, and we got exactly what we need. We got done what we needed to do. But I do understand that, like, there was just so many moments in that game where it's just certain players and just the quality of the football in general was just so poor that it just makes you question a lot, really. And it makes you, especially, I think, certain players in particular, Dave, just the heavy touches, constantly not able to get it past, their man, and being able to put in a good ball, the lack of effort in certain moments as well, really was just, I think that's where a lot of people are kind of concerned and a little bit upset. But I don't know. I think people are coming at it from very different perspectives. Thought it would be kind of maybe a straightforward game, but it wasn't. And so we come at it with different reactions.
The way I see it, Jack, is we're true at the end of the day, but I think there's more negatives than positives coming out of that game, if I'm being brutally honest. Look, there's a number of talking points to talk about. I mean, the first one is Jed Spence, again, not starting. I think getting, a 15-minute cameo, even though Emerson was absolutely disgraceful today. That guy, just, if I was him, I'd be looking to get out of here on loan. He's being used as a pawn between Daniel Levy and Conte for a power struggle. And it's just disgraceful. Again, Alfie Devine coming off the bench for 2 minutes. None of the youngsters really getting from the academy getting any opportunities whatsoever, because this same crap keeps happening where we're struggling against these teams. These youngsters don't get any opportunities, and then we sit here and we wonder why. We have nothing coming through the academy, because we never get to look at them to see what they can offer in any of these sort of games, because we're never in a comfortable enough position to be able to do it. And I, for one, I'm just sick of struggling, whether it's the Premier League, the Champions League, Europa Conference League, FA Cup, League Cup. I'm just sick of struggling getting over the line. I'm absolutely fed up with it. I think Emerson and Session, a lot to be discussed on them today. The game was all about out wide, and they couldn't put one decent cross in between them, with no matter how many attempts they've had. Absolutely shocking, in my opinion. In fact, I know people are going to say, Dave, stop being harsh or stop being a dick. I don't want to see them in a Tottenham jersey again, if I'm being quite frank and brutally honest. I don't see any progression there. But look, we controlled most of the game. Didn't really look like conceding, which I think is a plus at the end of the day, and we're through. But look, enough of what I have to say. Let's see what people in the chat have to say, and then let's start getting on some of the callers, the Spurs fans, and let's see what they have to say. Steve D says, I've tried, lads. Can't tell me Conte is blameless anymore. Sorry. In Spurs we trust. Look, Steve D, I'm not even going to sit here and argue about Conte with anyone anymore. All I'm just going to say is I've seen these performances under Nuno in cup games and stuff. I've seen them under Jose Mourinho in cup games and stuff like that. It's not an anomaly.
Pochettino went out of the cups quite early lots of times as well. We've seen Pochettino go out of the cups pretty early in a lot of times, if I'm not mistaken, too.
And it's just kind of like, some of these guys, not all, some of these guys, it's just the same repetitive team, and it's going to be the same repetitive thing until we just rotate a bit more. Sugar Pebbles 28 says he should accept at least half the blame. He chose the worst lineup for our midfield and defense to make some stupid point. If he included Doherty, Perisic, or Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, we would have had a better game. But look, 100%, I do understand where you're coming from with this comment. But we also sit there and ask for some of these players to get rest at times. People have asked for Perisic to be rested at times this season. We've asked for Kane and Son, haven't been able to do it today. We've asked for Pierre and Højbjerg to be rested. They get rested today. This shit happens, and then we blame him for picking the lineup he has. It's
Mhm.
kind of like you can't ask to rest these players and then blame him for picking what's left of the squad.
Yeah. And also before North London Derby, when really we want this game to be seen as of course, a game that we need to win, but also we want this to be a break ahead of a very important game for us, a crucial game this season. You would think that you would have players available, especially with the Premier League, with all the money invested. You would think you would have good enough players that you could rely on to just do a job against the League One side, but it's not actually the case, really.
Big up Sugar Pebbles, my man. Good to see you in the building. Big up Theo Isaac. He says Spurs, yeah. Yeah, another day in the office, Theo. Big yourself up, brother. Good to see you in the building. Return to normal. I agree, Steve. It's ridiculous.
Steve Army's got the Steve D Army.
Steve D, yeah. He's calling in the comrades today, so he is. Big up, Stevie. Still Call says no creativity. Was Perisic rested for the Arsenal game? Yeah, 100% it was. You know, look, he's off the back of a long World Cup. Croatia had a few extra time appearances as well. You know, look, at the end of the day, I agree with resting these players. I've called for it time and time again to rest our big players in these games. This is where you can give them little bits of breaks to give them little bit of freshness going into the bigger games. But unfortunately, the players that do come in, just zero effort for me, to be honest with you. Big up, Zoe. Good to see you in the building. I hope you're keeping well. We've got Ryan MacF says we are a poor team. Absolutely dreading next week. Do you know what? It's just like Tottenham Hotspur to go on and put on a performance next week. But look, it's going to be tough next week. It's going to be a hard game. I'll be honest, it's the first North London derby in a long time. I'm going into it with not really any expectations or much hope, if I'm being brutally honest. The game against Palace, 4-0, big win and stuff like that, but Arsenal's going to be a different ball game. He says, Dave, I was worried about you, man. Games like these are not honestly good for Spurs fans' mental health. I already feel a little crazy. Funny enough, actually, I got a text off my mother at halftime saying, Dave, you need to relax a little or take a break because your blood pressure is going to go through the roof. But look, it is what it is, you know. I'm well versed in it, you know. There's people that there's a lot of older fans in the community than me, and they're still alive. So I presume I'll definitely reach them ages for sure. Miss Michael, big yourself up. Sorry, boys, won't be able to join today because of loads of uni work. Happy we went through.
Sorry about that, Mike.
Was a snooze fest. Hopefully, Kudu and Bento are fit for the Arsenal, or it's going to be a long day. Yeah, absolutely. Look, Michael, university is very, very important, my man. So make sure you do get that done. I'll be honest, last 10 minutes, I needed matchsticks to keep my eyes open. It was boring. It was boring. But look, like you said, at the end of the day, we're through, Michael, but we need Kulu and Bentancur back for sure.
Big up, Michael.
Steve D says, I love you guys today. The only channel I'm a member of, but I can't keep making excuses, lads. Sorry. Look, I'm not making any excuses whatsoever. Look, like I said, I'm not going to fight with anybody on Conte anymore. You know, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone's entitled to how they see it. Look, some people could say it's excuses, but, you know, what I will say is, Steve D, let's wait and see. If me personally, let's wait and see. If Conte gets sacked and the next manager comes in and things changes, well, then I'll sit here and hold my hands up. But what I will say is, let's wait and see, brother.
I think Steve D, to be honest, we do a bit of mental gymnastics, you know, from time to time. Let's be honest. We will admit to that. But also, I feel like the things that maybe we brought up before, like the Jet Spence situation and things like that, you could say have sort of been the, how would you put it, Dave? Like it maybe mistakes that we've, you know, highlighted, but not really sackable for us, or things that you would really die on the hill of getting rid of Conte for. I feel like, yes, he's gotten things wrong. Yes, maybe there's some things you would question, but do they really sum up to, you know, him being the problem? I don't really think so. And I understand that there's probably a few things, and, you know, that's especially stylistically, that people don't like. But I also feel like until he really gets the proper players that he actually needs in the squad, then we can maybe start being a bit more, you know, how would you put it? Maybe a bit more harsh, or a bit more, you know, like, you know, fairly critical. But it just feels like he's fighting a losing battle a lot of times, Steve D. And so it's hard for me to be, you know, critical of him in, you know, in every moment. But I also see where he gets things wrong. I think we try to bring that up, especially when it comes to jet spends and things like that. And also sometimes certain, squad choices or even bench choices, Dave. Even we've complained about there not even being young players that he, puts on the bench, as like strikers. So I don't know, Steve. We don't probably bring up all the mistakes that you probably think he makes, but we do try to still see them at the same time and acknowledge them.
100%. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to fall out with anyone over a difference of opinion. I can have mine, you can have yours, and we can still all get along, my man. But look, come on and have a word with us. Come on and have a chat with us. I don't bite. I do not bite. So come on and have a chat, brother. Big yourself up. Who else have we got in here? We've got Steel Call says, Cess and Emerson are too bad going forward. How come they are even first team players? They have no creativity.
One of the worst displays from both of them, I think, in a Spurs shirt together.
Emerson,
at the same time.
since that sending off at the North London Derby, he's gone completely off it. Completely. Some would argue he wasn't on it in the first place, to be fair. Claude Murphy says, fans, it's the magic of the FA Cup. This is the beauty about it, but we should be dominant against these teams. And I think that's where a lot of people feel let down, Claude. David also says, squad is dog poo and no creativity. Midfielder doesn't help. Big up, my man, David. Wayne Butler says, very impressed with Gil Messi and Sarr today. Right on his dog shit. Should have started Spence. Session has stepped up in 2 years. Yeah, look, Gil and Sarr, I think, are big pluses coming out of today. At least they showed a bit of energy and a bit of guile, a bit of heart about them, to be honest with you. Ryan Session, absolutely disgraceful in my opinion. I'm sick of Session.
Yeah.
He's the most easiest player to defend against in world football.
Good to see you, Wayno. And also Zoe kind of saying the same thing as well, Wayno. She's saying as well, celebrating 14 months, Dave, as a Flat Cap member, Zoe is. And she said, I'm so disappointed in Cess. He's not developed at all. I think that's basically the issue, is that we kind of would want the Fulham version of Sessegnon. And ever since he's left Fulham, basically it's just been a shadow of that version of himself. So yeah, I completely agree. But big up. Appreciate the support as well.
Big up, Zoe. Mark says Cess and Tanganga are championship level. Yeah, look, every bit of it. I'd argue Ollie Skip as well. Rob Belcher says, we all witnessed that shit show. For me, the only positive I can take is the performance of Papa Sarr. He controlled midfield and looked really comfortable on the ball. Must not be allowed to leave. Definitely agree with all of that, Rob. I think we definitely got to try and keep him around. But a bit of injury update on Basuma. He is going to be available for North London Derby. He was ruled out because of a bit of an ankle injury, but they are reporting that he'll be fit for the North London Derby. But if Bentancur's back, I'd say it'd probably be on the bench. Phil says, let's be honest, we didn't get away with the result today. We didn't even get out of second gear. It was comfortable. But what I can't excuse is the same players letting us down time and time again. Absolutely spot on. We're going to take a few more comments and then we're going to start bringing on the guests. Michael W. says, glad we won, but not a great performance. Levy, must see. We need players. Absolutely. We need more reinforcements. We've got to keep going. Can't take any windows off, my man. King Hoddle says, cheer up, Big Dave. No, look, I'm all right, man. I just... You know me, I just get a bit down sometimes when it comes to some of the performances. It's kind of like, look, me and Jack were putting the pre-match pump-up together yesterday, or not the pump-up, the build-up. I even said to Jack, one of the questions, I says, we've got to make a question about, these games, usually we struggle in them, because we do. And I'm just fed up with it. I'm just tired of it. That's all it is, King Hoddle. But I'm good. Don't worry about me. I'm good in that regard. Andrew, big up, my man. Good to see you in the building.
Big up, Andy.
Al C says, not going to lie, I woke up for the start of the match, then slept through the whole thing. I mean, I don't blame you. It wasn't exactly awe-inspiring. Akshegs says, totally agree that we need players. Hashtag back Conte. Leo loves Lego. Big yourself up. Good to see you in the building. You watching Lego Masters, my man? Let me know. Legend 27 says, 5 at the back against Portsmouth. Look, I understand that. Look, but it's his way. It's the way he plays. But I understand.
If we had better fullbacks, it would not look like 5 at the back. Believe me. If we had better fullbacks, it would not look like 5 at the back.
Tony Austin says, just got in. See, we won. How did it go? Yeah, it wasn't the best, Tony, but we're true. We're in the frat for the 4th round, I suppose. And, I suppose
that's what
matters the most. Come on, have a chat, though, Tony, sometime. I've seen you got that badge beside your name. Get on here. Excuse me, Miss says, this is not new for Spurs fans. We struggle with small teams as usual. Yeah, we do. I'm resigned to it. Someone says, absolutely shambles of display scraped against a League One side. Look, not happy with it myself, but look, at the end of the day, I keep saying we're in the hat. Justin says, but guys, Emerson completed a successful no-look pass for progress. We need Porro so bad. Yes, we do, my man. Yes, we do. And then Steve D says, I'll have to get on soon for no other reason but to have a bit of banter, boys. Alas, today I've been drowning my sorrows in a good malt whiskey. No, look, Steve, make sure you enjoy it. On the rocks or off the rocks, let me know, because there is a difference. Off the rocks, it's a bit more harsher on the throat. On the rocks, it's a bit more soothing. So let me know what the choice is, and what the whiskey is as well. But no, look, come on, now, let's have a chat about Conte and all. Let's have a good chat about it. Because true messages sometimes it can be hard. You can misread each other. So get on, have a conversation, convey it to us. Let's see if you can change my mind on it. I'm open to listening. So get on here one day and have a chat, brother. We're going to crack on. We're going to start getting on some of these guests. The first one in the back end today, Eager Beaver, Mr. Dermatron. Let's have him on. Dermo, how are you keeping, brother?
I'm grand. I'm listening to the young lad doing his bit of music practice. I'm bopping away in the background, so hope it isn't coming true. Look, it was a buff.
What do you make of the game today, Dermot? A lot of mixed reactions. Some people saying, Dave, you're overreacting, calm down, we're in the next round. And then some people, agreeing with me where it's just like, it's just poor all around. Like, there's more negatives than positives. Well, where are you at with it, Dermot?
Look, me and Philip did the watch along to it. We were more talking about the Portsmouth players being a bit looking like turkey after Christmas than watching the game, to be fair. Look, it was an awful game. There's no getting away from that. It was players on there that didn't give a shit, that didn't care. They were just going through the motions. I'm getting a game today. I get paid no matter what. I get the fans say we won, but I want to win with a bit of style, with a bit of class, with a little bit of I don't know. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. Maybe I've been a fan for 41 years. I'm asking for too much of Tottenham playing the Tottenham way. Let's play the Tottenham way. This is like watching the George Graham Tottenham side. Boring.
Did it feel like Harry Kane bailed us out, Dermot?
If Harry Kane wasn't there, that would have gone to a replay. That would have been a 0-0. And we'd have got, yes. So he did bail us out. Look, Harry's one behind Jimmy Greaves' record now. I hope he breaks it in the Arsenal game. But we can't keep depending on Harry Kane all the time. Son was useless. Emerson, I swear to God, right, when they sent that video in, the real Emerson is a beach person on the beach in Sao Paulo somewhere, looking after the people on the Copacabana, right? And they sent his twin brother, Dopey. He could not get past the halfway line. Segi was useless as well. And as for the back three, every time they got the ball, I was half expecting Sanchez or Davis to make a mistake.
It was just very routine, though, Dermot, wasn't it? Just moving it left to right, down one side, balloon it off the player in front of them, get it back, rotate it back down the other side. There's no creativity. No one really got on the ball, wanted to make a difference. Does that come down to the individual players, or is that an instruction by Antonio Conte, Dermot? Because for me, I would make a case that some of these players have never shown it, so you could put it on them. But for all we know, it could be an instruction where it's like, look, don't do anything silly. Don't give the ball away so that you're not running backwards, chasing backwards for some parts of the game, and to give them absolutely no hope and keep them penned in. So where are you at with it, Conte or the players?
Look, I understand Conte was saying them for the first 10 minutes, keep it tight. Keep it tight. They're a League One side. They're going to come at us. They know this is their cup final. Keep it tight. Well, we kept it tight for the whole game. Some of them players just don't know how to go forward, how to be creative. Papa Sarr was the only one who did anything. And we're screaming for a cam. Today was a player where you needed a player, in that first half especially, to unlock that defence. Just somebody like a Glenn Hoddle or a Modric or Ericsson, just to unlock that key. To break down these defenses, because we're going to get another team like this going in the FA Cup run, which I think we will win the FA Cup this year. I'm confident we're going to win it. That it's in my bones we're going to win it, but we have to play better. And it was horrible.
It feels like Dermot. Horrible. It feels like Dermot. While maybe players like Skip and whatnot, kind of were a bit poor. It just felt like the whole reason why teams have been able to stifle us, like Villa and kind of like how Portsmouth did, is just simply to do with those fullbacks, because they're basically forcing us to play out wide, by the looks of things. They're
Mm.
giving up, kind of a lot of space in those wide areas for the fullbacks to take on the opposition, but they just simply every time have a struggle to get past their man. And even if they do get past their man, they absolutely have no chance of usually putting in a good ball. And the only player that seems to be capable of it is a Perisic for us at the moment. So I don't know. What do you think? Is just today just an example of maybe why Conte needs fullbacks? He needs so many positions, but probably needs wingbacks as well, right?
Today was a day Conte tried to send a message to Enoch and Levy. I need more players. And it nearly cost us.
Yeah.
Now you can blame Conte for that. You can blame the players for that. You can blame anyone, a lot of people for that. But players should go out there when they pulled the shirt on. They should go out there and put a bit of fucking effort into it, a little bit of desire, a little bit of passion, a little bit of something. Because today, none of that was there. The only one that showed anything was Hill and Papa Sarr.
What do you put the lack of energy and heart or drive or whatever it is, the lack of effort? What do you put it down to? Because it's not the first time we've seen this, and it's happened under Conte, but it's happened under Jose, it's happened under Nuno in games like this. Like, what do you put it down to? You think it's down to the players thinking they're too good and they shouldn't be playing in games like this, or what?
I think, Dave, it's partly down to money. That they're on so much money every week that they don't give a shit anymore. I think half of it, they think that they can then go to Levy and say, we don't want this manager. So they've got too much power as well. And I just think it's players don't care anymore. Some players don't care, and they don't care about the club they're playing for. They don't care about the shirt they're wearing or the badge. We, the fans, care, but they don't care. And that's what hurts. And you've got to realize, these players have to realize, people pay good money to go and watch these teams every week.
Yeah.
Money they can't afford, money they should, that if they won't go and put on something else, but they do it every week, and these players don't care. But we, the fans, keep turning up every week, keep supporting these players, and we've got to come to some realization that these players need to go. But no other team will take them, and that says it all. We can't sell them because nobody else wants these players.
A player that we all are rooting for to come good at Spurs, Dermot, is Ollie Skip, but he's been given some minutes and he's been given some playing time of recent, and he hasn't really done very much with it. In fact, he probably looked the worst in this game, if you ask me. What do you make of Ollie Skip, and do you feel like he needs to be loaned out in January? Does he need to be given playing time someplace else to get some confidence back?
I think so. He needs to be loaned out. He was awful today, and he missed that sitter from 5 yards out. That should have been in the back of the net.
Yeah, that's right.
Jesus, he's never been the same place since he came back from his injury for some reason, and I just don't know why.
Yeah.
But the confidence is gone. And look, you can't defend him. He needs to go out and loan. As I said, the only player that played today was Hill. Yeah. Brian Hill, what a breath of fresh air. He really is, Dave. You and me and Jack, we've all been saying this for months and months and months, that how good Hill is. Is
he winning fans over? Do you think this was his week?
Do you know what, though, guys? Just quickly on Brian Hill, I thought, look, he was a positive today for sure. I felt a bit let down, though. I thought I would have got maybe a bit more from him. I thought I was going to see an assist or a goal today,
Maybe he had just had such dross around him, though, Dave, at the same time. Like, if he had like a better wing back next to him, if he had better midfielders, there were so many times when you saw him, Dave, he was showing for the ball and asking for the ball, and no one was able to give it to him when he was.
For sure.
Yeah. And there was also some moments where I think he was at the back post and he was, trying to run in to get a tap in, and people didn't see him. And I think he did all the right things he probably could. It's not like he had worldy of a game by any means, but I think he was actually playing well while everyone else was playing absolutely shocking, which is a hard thing to do, right? And you've been in that position, I'm sure, Dave, right? Where everybody is playing like dross. It's hard to keep up your levels, and not 100%. Sync with them.
It was like some of these flicks today were unreal. They really were. There were little flicks. Philip Brady said to me, reminds him of Ginola. And I can see that because he keeps cutting in all the time. He really is. I'm so excited about Brian Hill. I cannot wait to see him more in the Spurs shirt, and I'm over the moon with him. Look, guys, I actually wrote something down. Is it okay just to read out what I wrote down? And it's something you said, Dave. I was watching you at the end of your show, and there's something you said that sparked me something. I sat down and I wrote this down, and this will be going up on the channel as well. Being a Spurs fan is an honor. The house that Bill Nick built has gone. The pride, the honor of putting on a Spurs shirt has gone. Too many players disrespect the shirt. Players in the past like Roberts, Perriman, Huddle, Jimmy Greaves, Dave Mackay, many others who put on that shirt and give their all for us fans. Generations of Spurs fans have seen players who give their all for the club. What hurts the most is that the players of today don't care. They don't care about the shirt, the badge, the privilege that comes with putting on the Spurs shirt, to play on the hallowed pitch of White Hart Lane. Any fans will give their right arm to play for Spurs. We, the fans, care. We, the fans, love our club. It's the second love of our lives. Fans pay good money to go every week to see the players like Kane, Son, and others. All we ask is you, the players, to show some pride for the shirt. They've been lent to you, not given, but lent. Too many players are now disrespecting the honour that they've been given. So yes, it hurts big time to see players who don't care. But we are the mighty Tottenham Hotspur. We will rise and sing it with pride as we're the best fans in the world.
You made me feel better, Dermot. I didn't think that was possible, but you've made me fall in love with Tottenham all over again, my man.
Working hard.
Very well written. I think, look, for me, I think where my frustration, I know what you're talking about when I was saying that basically, that, this club is under pressure. It's up to you to perform to help dig it out from being under the amount of pressure that it is under. And I just feel let down by them today. It's up to them. We need all hands to the pump. We need people chasing for other people's jersey. And I just seen a lot of players just basically going through the motions today, and it just upsets me because we as fans know what sort of results can come out of this. We've proven over the years with some of the cup results. But Dermo, absolutely love that, my man.
Look, Spurs means everything to us, Dave. You, me, Jack, the fans. It means everything to us. It is the second love of our life. I've been supporting Tottenham for 41 years. I've seen us lift trophies, FA Cups, UEFA Cups, League Cups, and it means everything to us. It hurts me because I want our club to be successful. I want our club to run. And fans have to realize we will rise again. We will get there. There's no doubt about it. We will be successful. The house that Bill Nick built has been destroyed. And that's what hurt. That's what breaks my heart. He's looking down on us today, crying, because the club he built is no longer the club he built. It's the club of inconsistency, people that don't care, and it's all about themselves. Well, hang on a minute. Bill Nick once said, if there's no fans, there's no Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
Remember that. It's the fans. We built the club. If we're not there, there's no club. Forget the players, forget the manager, forget everything. It's us, the fans, who care.
The thing is, the performances keep going like this, no matter the game or the level of the opposition. It's only going to drive fans away, which is the sad thing. And I think Jazz Fusion, sums it up perfectly. They're consistently inconsistent, absolutely spot on. So poetic, my man. But Dermo, where can people find you if they really want to hear more after that great monologue?
Look, if you want to hear more from me and Philip Brady and Ellie, and of course Mia as well, you can find us over THFC Till I Die. We're doing watch-alongs and everything over there. So, come over and hit the like. We're on the march to 2,000, so let's get there. And thanks these guys as well. Please like and subscribe here. This is the mothership to my channel. This is where it sprang from. And please, everyone, give the support here for the lads because they deserve it. They're two good lads. So big up.
Big up, Dermatron. And thanks for getting us started, my man. Well done.
No problem. No problem. Speak to you later.
Come on.
See you soon. Come on, you Spurs. In Conte, we trust.
Love that. Big up, Dermo. We'll speak again soon, brother. All right?
See you later.
See you, my man. Everyone, get over, check out THFC Till I Die. Look, I've been asking this guy, the last little while. Get on. Come on, Simon. Let's have you. Let's get him on. Simon,
there
how
he
you
is.
keep?
I'm not too bad, thanks, boys. How are you both doing?
Yeah, look, I'm happy we're in the next round, but overall, my mood's taken a bit of a turn since I woke up this morning with the performance, Simon.
It was bad. It was a very poor performance. The only good thing about it was if Kane played and Kane scored. If Kane didn't play, who would have scored and put us through to the next round? Nobody. So just count yourself lucky. Kane was fit, and he played and he scored. Because if he wasn't out there, Dave, Jack, we'll probably be going to Fratton Park for a replay. That's how desperate we are. That's how desperate things are.
We don't need that extra game, don't we, Simon?
We don't need the extra game. But some of the performances out there today were, Eric Dyerish, bad to say the least. As I said,
wing backs you were telling me earlier, right?
Yeah, that's right, Jack. The wing backs are non-existent. Couple of goodish performances were like Sarr and Hill. They both both tried, didn't do too bad. Son, I still don't get what's going on with Son at the moment. I'm sure he didn't get kidnapped in Korea, did he? When they went on that tour and they sent somebody else over to take his place. Because Son at the moment is not Son that we know, is he?
No.
What's he doing? What's he doing differently?
Sorry.
What's he doing differently or doing wrong? Do you think?
I don't know. Is his father whispering in his ear he needs to get out of Spurs? Before the season started, I don't honestly know. But Son isn't the player he used to be, and I'm very concerned about it. It all seems to be on Harry Kane at the moment, and especially with Kulu out at the moment and Richarlison out, it's all down to Kane. And if Kane gets cropped,
we're fucked.
We've had it, haven't we? We're really high in the what's the name without a paddle. So I'm a little bit concerned. It's all on Kane at the moment. He's keeping us afloat with his performances and his goals. There's nothing. Nobody else is turning up.
100%.
If it wasn't for him, we'd be in trouble. The way it's going this season, we'd be in trouble.
Simon, let me ask you, what do we do with Son then? Because it's not like we can drop him or rest him
You can't drop him. You just have to persevere with it. Just keep persevering. Like I said, we all know he's a class. He's a worldish class kind of player. So I'm sure he will come good eventually, but sooner rather than later, because we need him to start scoring goals. It's all on Kane, and he can't keep going on like this. Because Holberg when he plays comes up with a few goals. Kulu on occasions. Richarlison's, as you know, hasn't scored in the Premiership yet, and he's out injured now. So it's all on Kane. I'm getting a little bit worried about all this. It's all down on Harry Kane.
100%. We need reinforcements.
We need, at full, Dave, as I said in backstage, Jack and Dave, we need some, upgrades at fullbacks. Because if we had, a couple of top classy fullbacks, we'll probably, get more goals and all that. But some of the players out there, the Skips and, people like that just aren't good enough. He needs to go out and loan. Tanganga's not good enough, as we know. There's a few players out there. They're not good enough to play for Spurs, and it shows. So we need an upgrade in several positions, really, to kick on, just to see if we can get into the top four, because we're not going to win the Champions League, and the FA Cup will probably be drawn up against a big side or even a lesser side, because we could get knocked out. Because we're not that great, and we're not playing that great, are we?
What do you put this down to? What do you put the form down to, and even like today's performance? Do you put it down to Conte? Tactics failing to get them up and inspired, or do you put it down to just the inconsistencies of players that we've seen under previous regimes, or can it possibly be both?
Yeah, some of the players aren't good enough anyway, Dave. You can't polish a turd, as you would say. You said previously before. Some of these players aren't good enough. They've been there for too long. So whoever manages these kind of players, they're not going to become any better. And I do blame a little bit on Conte. Some of his tactics and the way he sets up sometimes, I don't agree with. But just some of these players, I don't think they understand tactics anyway. And just like I said, some of them just aren't good enough. Yeah, we should be kicking on with better upgrades on some of these players. But like I said, Conte, I've just got a gut feeling. A lot of people are talking that Conte won't be there next season, and I believe he won't be there next season. Looking at his face over the last month, few weeks or before the World Cup, you can see in his face he's not going to be there. He's not going to be there next season. So we'll be starting up again, next season, won't we? Probably without Champions League football as well, because we're not going to win nothing. That's for sure. And I doubt if we're going to get fourth. It's all on Harry Kane at the moment to get us into the top four.
Yeah. Do you think we need centre backs this January, Simon? But do you feel like after today we need a right wing back as well?
I suppose, yeah, we definitely need a right wing back. That's a certainty. Left wing back, I think we can probably get through till next season because Doji coming in next season, haven't we? That's
yeah.
it, unless they decide to put him out on loan for another year. So I think with Perisic on the left side, we can get through probably on the left because he's got a few assists this season, even though he hasn't been scoring. He's come up with a few assists, which is good. But the right wing back is non-existent. Okay, Doherty's, I suppose that is not too bad going forward. Emerson's not too bad defending. Spence is being treated disgustingly, as far as I'm concerned. Disgustingly. Why he can't? Why couldn't have got a full game today just to see how he could do against a League One side?
Yeah.
Why couldn't he play Spence just to see what he could do? Just get an idea if he can do it against a league, League One side. But to bring him on with 10 minutes from the end, it's like taking a pee.
Yeah, I thought that was taking the piss on the young lad. I thought, especially after 50, 55 minutes, for me, the halftime team talk should have been, you've got 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get your act together if you're making subs, But
what,
I think it's disgraceful. Who do you blame for the situation, Simon?
Oh, well, obviously, Conte doesn't want Spencer. It wasn't his signing we keep hearing. But come on, just give the boy a chance. If it doesn't work out against this lot today, then okay, put him out on loan. But playing Emerson, a player who probably won't even be there next season, I don't understand. Just Emerson won't be there next. He could be gone this month. If he's not gone this month, he'll be gone next season because he won't be starting right back next season, will he, Emerson? So why bother playing him against Portsmouth?
Yeah,
just give Spence a go. He's playing Papasar and Hill today. Give Spence a go.
But isn't that the thing then, Simon? If he didn't start today, there's almost no chance.
He's going out on loan. He's gone out on loan. He'll probably come back next season with a new manager who'll probably give him a start, unless we get another right back in. But we won't pay the release money for Pedro Porro.
Yeah,
Porro wants to come, but Spurs won't cough up the money. Surprise, surprise. So if you want a right back, Jack and Dave, this month, I'm clueless to know who we're going to get. If they won't pay the money for Porro, who else is going to come in?
Do you reckon if we started a GoFundMe, we'd be able to make up the 15 million difference as fans?
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
I think we need 13 million in GoFundMe money. I guess that's what they bid 30 million. So I heard, Simon.
That's right. But also, like I said, you were saying earlier as well before when I went on previous shows about centre halves, we definitely need to upgrade on centre halves as well. Even if we can just get one in.
Yeah.
This month, just get one in and just see if we can get another one, next season. But the right back is the right back's a major concern. Like I said, with Perisic on the left, we can probably get through, on the left till the end of the season. But we need a Wassenham on the right, and probably another centre half, someone who can head a ball, because none of our centre backs know how to head a ball. And
would you look to sell Tanganga, can I ask? Because we need to make room in the centre back position.
He's a park player, Jack. Tanganga's a park player. He's useless. Sorry. You see him on Hackney Marsh.
He had to foul in order to make a tackle.
Yeah, all he does. He's more like a rugby player. I'll pull you to the ground. He's Tanganga. Listen, I can play better at centre back than him, and I'm well and truly past it. But Tanganga's not good enough. We know the players who aren't good enough, but we need to add in, a centre half and a right full back. Two top players this month, and hopefully we can kick on because we've got some massive games coming up, as you know, the Arsenal around the corner, and just hopefully that Kulu and Bentancur, are they both back for that? Are they, the Arsenal game? Are they both fit?
I reckon Kulu will probably be back. Bentancur, I think his was 6 weeks they said. So I think that will be touch and go.
And Basuma, did you say earlier Basuma's out for the Arsenal game?
No, he's back for the Arsenal game. So he pulled out of the warm-up today due to an ankle injury, but they said it's not serious and he will be fit for the North London derby.
But like I said, we need. Well, that's going to be one hell of a game, that is, isn't it? Because if we get tonked by Arsenal, I'll tell you, we'll be on meltdown. The fan base we're on meltdown, near enough at the moment. Imagine what it'd be like if we get hammered by Arsenal. I dread to
take any positives from this going into the North London derby, or is it just?
Kane. Well, hopefully, we've got a bit of positive. Kane's scoring, so hopefully he'll get his equal Jimmy Greaves record, if not, beat it. So I'm just hoping we can go out the strongest side possible and beat Arsenal, and go on to Man City the week after. But regarding today's performance, playing the League One side with a one shot at goal,
It's just not acceptable,
it's
Simon. I'm
it's
so
not. It's not. You know, win 3-0. They would have won 3-0. Spurs say, okay, that's it. You know, 3-0, fair do. I'll take that. But winning 1-0, you know, not even coming out of second gear. It's just, you know, it's just not on. There's so many weaknesses in that side that just need to be upgraded for us to kick on. But I don't know. Like I said, there's a few people saying, yeah, we're in the next round. That's the main thing. We are in the next round. But see who we get in the next round and think, okay, we could be knocked out here. You don't honestly know.
Yeah.
Find out. So just, I don't know, just a bit, you know, just a bit frustrating the way we're playing. We're setting up and playing because I'm so used to seeing Spurs playing really good football, like Dermot was speaking. You know, so much sense. You know, same. We used to play like this. We used to play like that in the early days. I go further back, as you know, Dave, into the late 60s and 70s and 80s when we used to really play good, attractive football. But now, having Conte setting us up like this, it's so boring. It really is. So just have to see how we get on in the next few weeks, move on to the end of the season, see how we stand, and then probably look for a new manager and get some real top players in for next season. But was leaving
manager though, Simon. It's look, it's probably going to come to that point, but that next manager, we have to dig our heels in and just be like, look, you've got to back one project because look, our squad resembles 4 different regimes. A couple of different director of football, and it's just like it's showing on the football pitch, and it's just so disheartening. But Simon, I want to ask you a question. If you're a youngster sitting at that club today, whether it be in the under-21s or whether it's on the bench, how would you feel knowing there's no pathway whatsoever? And even in games where you're thinking, oh, could get 15, 20 minutes to go and shine here, show them what I'm about, and you can't because it's not comfortable. How would you feel?
I'd want out. I wouldn't want to be there. I wouldn't want to be there. I thought to myself early, you know, when the teams were like, you know, announced, I thought maybe Alfie Devine might have started instead of Skip. But no, you know, I suppose a lot of people saying Alfie Devine's a very good up-and-coming player. But if I was a youngster sitting around, thinking to myself, you know I'm pretty good to start games like this and getting overlooked, I think to myself, you know, I'd also be looking to get out because there's no pathway, is there? There's no pathway into that first team, is there? We keep saying we've got a few good youngsters, but where are they then? They don't seem to get in. They seem to keep sticking. We've got people like Winks coming back, haven't we? So no doubt he'll be. Yeah, we've got people like that coming back. So probably he'll end up playing a few games for the end of the season. But people like Alfie Devine, I like to see him come on, but coming on for like a few minutes to the end, it's like taking a pee. At least give us a second half to see what he's all about. But it's the same old. It's very drab watching Spurs. You have to, we have just got to keep. How long can you keep being patient for? Yeah. I've been with Enoch. We've been patient for 20 odd years, and with them still going to be there, nothing's going to change. We're going to win nothing under Enoch, nothing at all.
I'll be honest. Everything is just starting to go.
It's going toxic. It's going toxic. Levy knows. The people are getting on his back, and bloody right and all. But while they're going to be there, Enoch and Levy and Joe Lewis, it's going to be like this for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Yeah. We should have won a cup by now. We should have won one, maybe two max over the last 20 odd years, but we've never done it. Never pushed the boat out. On averaging, I think that Savile was saying on one of his programs, we're averaging about 22 million per player we've been buying since Enoch have been, in charge. 22 million pound per player. All the players we've brought since Enoch have been in. So what can you get for 22 million?
Probably a Kit Kat in the next couple of months with the way inflation is going, Simon.
I know. Just before I go, yeah, we're through to the next round. So see how we get on. But we got the Arsenal next week, and you never know. They might turn up for it, Spurs, and they might not. We might get thumped and think, oh, here we go again. Well, we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, boys, I suppose you've got more callers to come on, have you? So.
Yeah. No, it's good to have you back, Simon.
Nice
it was really good to chat with you.
Nice to speak to you, Jack. I like you. You talk a lot of sense. You two do really well together. You're like Starsky and Hutch. Starsky and Hutch.
Appreciate that, man.
Appreciate that. Look, it was good to speak to you. It was really good to speak to you.
Hope to see you soon.
I will come on again soon. I like speaking to you, Dave. You're a good lad. All right. You take care.
Hopefully the North London Derby and we'll be sitting here smiling, my man, huh?
Yeah, and there's a pig in the sky.
Don't say that. I'm hungry and end up shooting it down and making a ham sandball. Big up,
Yeah.
Simon.
No, I'm Jewish. I can't eat ham.
Ah,
Me and Dave
All
will
right.
enjoy it, then. Me and Dave will enjoy it. We'll see you soon,
All
Simon.
right,
We'll
then.
see you soon, brother.
I'll catch you later. Take care, boys. All
see
the
you,
best.
Simon.
Gotcha.
Thank you very much
bye,
for your
bye.
time, man. Big
Yeah,
yourself.
true. Yeah, bye.
Really enjoyed that. I haven't spoke to Simon in some time. I really enjoyed that conversation with Simon. He's a really good guy. Love chatting Spurs to him. But look, we're going to keep this moving. The next one in the back is Mia. Let's get it on and hear what she has to say. Mia, how are you keeping, my dear? What's your thoughts after
Yeah,
the
I'm
game?
not too
I already know
bad.
what your thoughts are, but
Oh.
go on, give out to me.
First of all, I'd more like to say that you're more like Thelma and Louise than you are Starsky and Hutch. I think you're more Thelma and Louise, definitely.
We're like Sanchez and Davies, I think, or Sanchez and Dyer, basically, you know.
Emerson and Session.
Emerson and Session.
Yeah, because obviously in the back we had a bit of like a discussion about it. So first of all, I'd like to say I'm not saying that we had a good game. Like, honestly, I was disappointed with a lot of our players. Like, a lot of players weren't good enough. They just weren't, and I know that. And I'm not disagreeing with you on that. But I would like to say also, sorry, this dog. As soon as I do this, the dog starts barking. Also, I'd like to say is that don't forget that other teams have been knocked out by small teams in the.
Yeah. We just saw even
That's
Blackpool,
what the
I
FA
think,
Cup is
just
for. You've got
smacked.
to understand these games. They come into these games.
Blackpool have just beat Forest 4-0. You're exactly right, Mia.
4-0.
4-0.
So
4-1
this
or
is what I'm
something.
trying to say is that obviously in these games, these teams come in knowing this is their opportunity to have a scalp really and win against a big team. So I think that obviously you've got to understand that happens in these cup games, and we are trying to we're kind of juggling because we've got injuries. So people want players rested, but then they don't think that obviously the team we have got, some of the extras we've got aren't good enough. Like Sessegnon, not good enough today at all. Tanganga, not good enough today. The fact that Royale nearly scored, I nearly had a heart attack. Like, Jesus, what's going on? Why is Royale nearly scoring? That's not normal. So he was like obviously wasteful. They were both wasteful and useless. Him and Sessegnon. Do not get it twisted. I don't think that Tanganga is a disaster waiting to happen. But I do think we know this already. We know that our backups aren't that good. And also we know that we need to improve even with the squad that we've already got. But we rested players and we didn't concede a goal. We rested players and still didn't concede. So that's got to be a plus. So we got through, we didn't concede a goal, and we've just won we won a game against Palace. Well, we won this game. Going into the North London derby, I couldn't ask for anything more than that because I wanted a clean sheet to go into this North London derby because I know it's important for us to have our confidence up a little bit. And we didn't play Longley, and we didn't play Perisic, and we didn't play Sexy Romero either.
So it's almost like Mia, maybe we went to it with too high expectations, perhaps, of these sort of players that we know, like you said, we know that they're trouble. We know that they're not good enough. And so maybe we had too high expectations, or we could have seen this coming is maybe a better way to put it.
Yeah, like I just think to myself, what did you expect of Sanchez? Like, he did actually all right today. I'm not going to lie. He didn't do terrible. I wasn't going to. I didn't want. I understand that, but we know that they're shit. So I think, like, we know they're like that. So then I think our expectations of them is that they don't put the effort in. We knew this, we know this. But Conte is trying to juggle by kind of rotating and keeping some of our other players in, rotating players, because people always saying we need to rotate. We can't rotate our front three because of injuries. So that made it difficult. Otherwise, he probably would have rotated a bit more on the front three as well, but he couldn't. So, like, obviously, it's got to be balanced, guys. Come on, we've got to be a bit balanced. Although, yes, those players are rubbish, but we know they're rubbish. It's, you know, you can't polish a turd. You can like rub it in glitter and try and spray some perfume, but it's still a turd, right?
Well, speaking of two turds, I mean, we watched them at wingback today. Mia, thoughts on Sessegnon and thoughts on Emerson? I mean, pick your poison
Useless.
here.
They're useless, aren't they? They're both useless. Sessegnon, oh my goodness, he's so frustrating to watch. Every time you're like, what are you doing, man? He's so wasteful with the ball. He's just absolutely ridiculously bad. And
I feel like every
Emerson,
cross was blocked, Mia. Honestly, I feel like I watched his cross get blocked every single time.
he
that
made
went down
he
that
made
tunnel.
Emerson look good. That's the worst part. He actually made Emerson look good. Like, what am I saying? Have I lost my mind or what? But he actually did.
Mia, Steve
So-
D says, "Oh my God, Mia, really? We didn't concede a goal. Is our ambition against Portsmouth?" Question mark.
Well, I'm not saying that it's, oh my God, I'm saying to you is in the cup games is anything can happen. And I was happy for us because we have been notoriously conceding goals and everybody got on our backs about it. We conceded goals. So us not conceding in 2 games is a good thing. Do you not think that? Or do you want us to concede goals, Steve D? Like, are you happy that if we concede a goal? No. So the fact that we haven't is a good thing, especially because we didn't have our defence that we normally would have. Davies, people say not good enough. Sanchez, people say are not good enough. And Tanganga, people say aren't good enough, but they didn't concede a goal. So
I hear you. But for
I
me,
think-
I'll be honest, it's just maybe it's the fan in me. But I go into these games expecting a clean sheet and not to be caused really any problems. Talking about a League One side, look, I hear you. I hear you. Just for me, I just feel let down. Like the way I see it is right. These players are given an opportunity to play their way into form or whatever else. And if you're a player at Tottenham Hotspur, I believe that you should be doing everything in your power to try and lay claim on the starting jersey. And when I looked at a lot of them players today, and in so a lot of the games over the last 3 or 4 years that are similar to this, they just go through the motions. And it's kind of, I find it disrespectful to the football club, especially with the pressure it finds itself under now. And that's where I'm coming from with it. That's why I find it so disappointing. I also find it disrespectful to the youngsters. Do I believe any of them in there apologising to Harvey White or Alfie Devine for not getting more minutes or Mundial for coming off the bench or any other players before that, the Craig twins, when they've been on the bench? I don't believe any of them are in there apologising, then go and say, look, sorry, kid, that's on me today as an international professional. I should have done better, should have helped to get us over the line so you can get minutes, so I can help pave a way for you like people have done for me in the past. And I just don't see that, and it really irks me because there's no youth coming through. Performances like this isn't helping Conte. It's not helping the club. It's not helping the fans. I'm just tired of it.
No.
Yeah, no, I understand that, Dave, and I understand your frustration. Like, I think we're all tired of those players. We just literally are. We want them gone. We want them to go. I'm happy to pack their bags and send them off. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm happy to say that that's what I want. But at the moment, obviously, we're just in the process of doing that, because don't forget, when Poch come in, it took him a little while to get rid of the players that we didn't want, the deadwood. It did take a little while. So I think you've got to understand that there is a process to it. Obviously, you can't just expect all players to just be shipped out and get new ones in, or to get new ones in straight away when you've got to pay wages for these other players. So it's got to be a bit balanced on the fact that you've got to know that it takes time. And I agree with you. Every time they put that shirt on, they should give 100%. They should give 100%. But we just know some of these players, like Dyer, couldn't even play in the Sunday League. Neither could Royale. Like they would get beat by a bunch of 12-year-olds probably. But they are rubbish. And we know they're rubbish. So I've got to just understand. It's difficult. Like, I do understand.
Yeah, I was going to say, look, I can't put the blame all on them because they have been allowed to get comfortable with some contract renewals that me personally, I don't ever see why they've been allowed to be given them. So they have been allowed to get comfortable. But look, just for me, they have to do better. But me, anything else you want to touch on, or maybe speak about that? Maybe we haven't spoke about with Simon or Dermatron.
Maybe like obviously we
Thoughts
know
on Papa
that with
Matasar,
like
maybe?
Sonny.
Or Sonny,
Papa
go ahead. Yeah, he was
Matasar,
dreadful. I thought.
I still
Sonny.
think. I think Sonny is really taking his time. Like, I thought maybe scoring that goal, maybe he'll give a bit more confidence. He did look slightly more confident, but still off it. And I do think that mask is affecting him because he can't see properly. It's really like horrible in your face. Like, I don't like stuff like that on my face, you know. It's a bit kind of like, you wouldn't like it all the time, especially, and when you're playing football, don't forget you're breathing as well. You've got to try and breathe, and you know, and it's harder when you've got a mask on your face, like, you know, it pressed down on your face. It's just, you know, I think that could be, it'd be interesting to see what he does once he doesn't have the mask on. I'll be very interested to see how he plays and if he does maybe improve. Sarr, I thought Sarr was really good again. No complaints from me. I think he's going to be one of these players that you're going to have to, we want to see more of him, but obviously he will probably have moments where he dips a little bit because he's still fairly young, so we've got to give him a little bit of time. And I don't want him to go on loan at all, because I would really like to keep him, because I do really like him. I like him better than I do Skip. I would keep him and get rid of Skip, if I'm honest, because I think Skip's too similar. I just don't think he's been good enough. And like I said to you the other day, I feel like if he's not fit enough, he can't get fit in our team because we haven't got time for that. So with Sarr, I think Sarr's ready to go. I think he is a player that we could give minutes to in these sort of games and get him up to speed and to get him confident. But I think he looks very confident anyway on the ball, to be honest with you. I think he's a confident player already for a young guy. I do really rate him.
I just think he pings it around a bit more. He hits it also, like every pass that he has a bit more zip on it than what other players we've seen. He doesn't leave them short. His just technical quality was far beyond Skip's at times. Like Skip had certain touches in the game, certain passes in the game that were really just just not good enough really for this level. Whereas PORTSMOUTH was able to always seem to know what players were around him. He wasn't ever caught on the ball, didn't really seem to have a loose touch that I can even really recall or anything. Like, it just felt like, 2 times now we've actually seen probably, Mia, where Skip has played alongside Højbjerg, looked poor, played alongside PORTSMOUTH against pretty poor opposition and looked poor. People don't like when I talk about Skip in this kind of way.
I know, that's the thing. Like, obviously, my dogs can hear someone barking outside. There's another dog barking outside, so both the dogs are going crazy now. Why? She's so naughty. She's such a naughty little girl. She's such a tiny dog, but she's got such an attitude problem that every time she hears another dog barking, she's like, let me at them, let me at them.
Yeah, she's a Skippy fan.
Yeah, no, obviously people say that about Skip with me as well. No, I don't. I think she's agreeing with us. She's agreeing, definitely. I think people don't like it when we say about Skip because obviously he's homegrown, but I do think that we can't just be sentimental. We always say we're too sentimental, and then people go, oh yeah, but skip this and skip that, and I just think, no, like I say, he hasn't got time to catch up. He just hasn't. So I'm gonna go, because obviously I don't want you to keep hearing dog.
You want to give your channel a quick plug, Mia? Yeah. We put it in the chat here.
You want to give the channel
Spurs Between the Lines, obviously. Yep, I'm actually just about to give my views on this game as well. So if you want to hear more of my views, I've done it's not a long video or anything. So I've just done that. So I'm going to be uploading it in about 5 minutes. So if you want to go and listen to that, if you could subscribe, like the videos, and obviously give them a watch, because all the hours matter. Because obviously you have to build up a certain amount of hours, so all the hours all count. So if you could all just watch it, even if you don't want to listen to me, just put it on mute. It's fine. I don't mind. I won't get offended. I just need the minutes.
Appreciate it, Mia. Appreciate it, Mia.
I'm okay with that. It's okay.
We'll see you soon for the next one, and hopefully we can look at this performance
quickly.
a little better this time.
I'm going to be doing a live.
Oh.
Hopefully. Also, I'm going to say I'm going to do a live once I reach to 100. So please try and get me up to the 100 subscribers. I'll be very, very grateful. I'm not far off of it now. So
I think 82. We could get there very, very soon. We could get there soon. Let's get to 90. Let's get to 90, and then we'll go from there.
Everyone get over and check out Mia's channel. Mia, big yourself up. Really appreciate the support. You're tuning in and the support to these fan shows. So big yourself up. And we'll speak again very, very soon.
Thank you.
Come on,
thanks a lot. Right, take care. Come on, you Spurs. In Conte we trust.
In Conte we trust. Let's go. Love it.
Big up, man. See you soon.
I think there was about a minute lag there. I think that's what was so confusing. But love it. Love it. We got through it anyway. But look, let's keep going. Who have we got in here next?
I think
It
it's
is
Elias.
Elias. Let's get him on. Let's hear what he has to say. Just give me 1 second. Big up Tom81. Welcome a few new people in here. Ash Cakes, Joseph, P, Paolo, Roy Park, Jude, good to see you in the building, my man. Sean, EJ, Daniel as well. Paddy Harnett, how are you feeling right now, my man? Being at the wedding yesterday right now. Big up Mark New as well. Big up Nick Coupland. He says, who let the dogs out? Love that. Sue Smith, great to see you in the building. What really bewilders me is Antonio's constant system dependent on quality wingbacks. We have some of the worst in the league. No wonder we lack creativity and spark. I think a lot of people would agree with you there.
Great comment.
And to be honest with you, Mia or Sue. And then Trinidad and Deep says, the Irish Hotspur Conte is now finding out what our young boys Guinness are is what he needs, some youth, some speed and good football mentality. Absolutely love that. Big up Kev G saying the dogs are barking. Enoch and Levy out. Big up Adrian Schrock and Mark New as well. Great to see you all in the building. But look, let's keep cracking on. Who we got next? It's Elias. Elias, how are you keeping, my man? You let me away lightly last day with the dire situation. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, let's not talk about him because he didn't play. So I mean, it's
not about him today. You're right.
Yeah, especially not on the show. So yeah, we'll talk about him another day when he'll score a 6-shot free kick.
Well, look, Elias, where do you sit today? But look,
what's your
reactions to today's performances? Yeah. So where are you on the scale?
I think it was a pretty decent game. Of course, there were a lot of negatives, but I think when you are playing in, oh bloody hell, when you're playing this kind of game, like when you have a team that plays a back five, it's not easy to play without a ball playing midfielder, and when you have two very defensive midfielders, it's not easy to play a game like that. Of course, we have seen previously in the FA Cup as well that teams have struggled against this kind of teams that sit in very deep, and they have a back five and all that. Like last season, we saw Chelsea struggled against Plymouth and all that. We lost to Middlesbrough. So in these kind of games, these teams are very motivated to give their best and all that. So the fact that we kept a clean sheet and we scored a goal still despite all that, and despite the fact that we didn't have a single creative player other than Kane, I would say, or Kane or maybe Hill. Other than that, nobody was creative enough to inject any form of creativity into the game. Of course, some of the players were good, but there is no element of creativity in any of their game, which actually cost us a bit. And I think that made fans a bit embarrassed today, the way we played. And I think we deserved a bit more. Definitely, we didn't get it. And I think that's really up to that squad that they don't have any creative element in their game. Too predictable. I agree with the comment just now somebody was making that Son's game is just too predictable. Every defender in the Premier League, every defender in England knows where Son is going, what move he's going to play. He's just too predictable, and he needs to change that. He needs to develop his game a little bit more.
What's weird about it, Elias, is that I feel like he's trying different things. It's just that he's getting red. Like I don't know what that is. It's like he's cutting inside and they read him, and then he's taking it down the byline and they read him. He's, taking it onto his left. They seem to cover it. Like, I don't know what it is. If you know what I mean, like it's not like he's doing the same move every time or something like that. There just seems like no defender is having any trouble at all. Like just
Jack, it's the speed he used to do with that. It used to be so much faster. Even the step overs, the chop inside. And it comes down to confidence as well, right? When you're confident, you just go for it, no holds barred. You just like a bull in a china shop. When you're not confident, you start to think about it a bit more. You slow it down, and you end up becoming slower at the speed in terms of how you do things. I do think that is a bit of a problem with Son right now.
Yeah, it is a big problem with Son these days, especially the way he has been like that. His speed is definitely lacking, the pace and the way he used to dribble. His dribbling speed is also not that good as it used to be in the past, and it's of a concern as we go into the season. But of course, you can't blame him that much given the fact that last season he was the best striker in the league, he was the Golden Boot winner rather. And now he has been targeted in a way, or players are aware the way he plays. And at one point, I remember some of the rival fans used to complain that it's very hard to predict where Son is going, what kind of shot he would take. But now he's just too predictable, which is complete opposite. And it is kind of annoying and disappointing because I'm a big Sonny fan. I love Sonny a lot. The Asian pride comes there. So definitely, I would want to see him score more goals and all that. Because he has the pace and all that is just struggling. I don't know whether it's the mass that's blocking that vision that he can have, that
Yeah.
awareness on the pitch as well. But one other thing I noticed is that he's desperate for goals. I think he has to be a bit more patient in his play as well. I saw in this game today as well that he was just going for the shots that were not the kind of shots that you should be going for. You could have given a pass to the player in front of you, or you could have given a pass to Kane. He was just too desperate to score. And I think
Yes.
that's going to cost us as a team as well if he continues to do that.
You raise
I
also a
agree.
good point, and Dave, I want you to come in
Yeah,
as
yeah, no,
well.
work
But
on it, Jack.
he raises a good point about how, remember when we kind of talked to opposition fans, Dave? Remember how like kind of 50-50 it was, or even sometimes favoring Sonny, when it's like, what player do you really fear the most in that Spurs
Yeah.
side? A lot of opposition fans would be like, Sonny, that guy's just terrifying with the runs that he makes, etc., and how ruthless he is with the finishes. You ask those same fans this season if they have been paying attention to the Premier League and paying attention to Spurs. It's probably all, they would now just say Kane. And that's what's crazy, is that's how far his form has dropped, is that when you would ask opposition fans which player do they fear the most, a lot of them would say Sonny. And like, that's just
Sonny,
not the
yes.
case this season.
Yeah, and he has
No,
been too predictable. Yeah, sorry, Dave.
no, work away, Elias.
Yeah, I think yes, that predictability is a bit of an issue, but I think he was about to say something on that.
I was going to say on the predictability, for me, I don't think it's just with Son. I think it's in general. You look at a lot of our play, everyone
Yes.
knows where the next pass is going. Do you even know us sitting there watching it? Do you know the rival teams to know exactly where the ball's going to play? Like, there's no one on there that can pick up the ball and put one in behind over the left-hand side to the right-hand side, a bit like what Eriksen used to do or Modric used to do. Get on the ball and try stuff. And is this predictability down to Conte just saying to them, look, rather than try the risky stuff, knowing that we do have problems defensively, that look after the ball, keep prodding and probing, and he's backing that we have the quality to be able to nick these games? Or do you think it's just down to the players in general that they just don't have some of these passes in them?
I think it's not just the players within them as well, but I mean it's a 50-50 sort of thing, because I remember at one point Conte did say that, yeah, I don't expect my players to be doing funny things on the field and just trying everything out. I just want them to play with their head straight and not do any funny mistakes, and then make a mistake and then you give away the ball. He once said that in an interview, I think this season as well. I can't remember which game, but he did say that. And that's a concern as well, because if your manager is asking you to play a very straightforward game, the straightforward game has a lot more predictability. And that could be costing us dearly as well. But also, I think we can't disregard the fact as well, the players who have been kind of good creatively, Bentancur, Kulusevski, and I think the players are, I mean, sorry, some people may mind, but actually Dyer does inject a bit of creativity into your game from the back. Sorry to say that, but his long passes are of use. Sorry, I know some people won't like it, but his
You
long
brought him in,
passes
Elias, just for record. It was you.
I'm
It wasn't
allowing
us.
him one. I'll allow him one.
Okay, I mean that defensively he has his problems, but even if you saw the last game in Crystal Palace, he had a big contribution to that Doherty's goal and also that Son goal. It was actually a long pass all the way back from Dyer. He spotted that run. So he does inject that. But if you look at the current set of defenders that we play today, Sanchez, Tanganga, and even what's the other guy, Ben Davis, they cannot even play a short pass properly. What more a long pass? Like they cannot even pass, I think, to the players just standing next to them properly. Their legs are shaking used most of the times. I think they cannot play those long passes or those long balls. And I think that's what we need right now for our defenders to do that. If we are playing high line, you need someone like Romero, you need Dyer, you need Langley. They are the players who can play those long passes. Otherwise,
I can agree with that in principle when it comes to Davies, because I think Davies probably makes fewer big defensive errors that probably Dyer does, but on the ball, even though Dyer likes to slow it down a lot, if he were to ask somebody to clip it over the top, maybe to someone running in behind, it's not going to be Davies. It's more likely going to be Dyer that's going to play that pass. So I would agree with that. But I don't know, like, we go into a North London derby, Elias, and like, who do you want? Would you rather have a guy that's less likely to make a big bonehead mistake, or would you rather someone that can maybe be a bit better in possession? It's a tough decision. It's picking your poison scenario.
My back three would definitely be Romero, Dyer, and Langley. I would stick with these three, and I would stick with these three because, I mean, if you even check the stats, our stats are really great when you play these back three. Even last season and even this season, with Davis and with Davis at the left, actually our games have been poor recently as well. Even when you don't play Dyer in the middle, our stats have been poor in that way as well. So I would stick with that three. I know there's a lot of criticism towards Dyer, and I know there's a lot of criticism even towards Langley as well to a certain extent. But with them, I think our defense is a bit more confident, and they are the players who play regularly as well. And also there's a bit of element of relativity and also that familiarity that you have among as players.
Sure.
And I think the current team has that with that as back three rather than Davis. Davis had that familiarity as well, but I think he's not good enough in terms of helping the runners. Definitely, he's not good enough.
What did you make of Tanganga today? I'll be honest, it looks like he's just done here. Like, I would sell him, not even loan him, and think that he could come good. I would actually take the opportunity to sell Tanganga.
You should have sold him or loaned him to AC Milan. They came with an offer last season. Why we didn't grab the deal? I
think they wanted some loan deal. They wanted a loan, maybe with an option to buy.
Give them a loan.
Maybe we wanted to sell. I'm confused.
Give them a loan. Let them play. Let him play against us in the Champions League, and we will trash them. Should have just given him on loan.
Yeah, at this stage, after watching Tanganga play, it's not like I'm going to be fearful he'll put in a good performance against us. That's
send all these players to all these teams that are actually playing in Champions League. Even if they take them for free, just dump them in some Champions League team who can get conned easily for these kind of defenders. I mean, give Sanchez to some Champions League team as well.
He really looks like considerably the worst. Like, he looks worse than Sanchez even today. Like, it just looks like he can only foul in order to win the ball. He has to foul the guy, and he never really had any convincing headers that I can recall, or any convincing clearances that I recall. Whereas Sanchez, I remember, had some more convincing sort of kind of clearances, and we're just scraping the barrel here, like, for compliments with these guys. But Tanganga, it's kind of like the Sessegnon thing, where it's like, I don't know how someone could look worse than Sanchez, but somehow Tanganga took the cake there, and it was similar with Sessegnon. Like, somehow he looked worse than.
But actually, I won't blame Tanganga so much for his issues, because the kind of time he has. He was a young player in academy, and he was brought into the first team when the first team needed defenders. Back then we were struggling under Jose. He never had that time, or he never had that loan spell in a team where he can actually harness his skills regularly, starting from the bench or even playing in the starting 11.
Well, that starts with what you do in training, though, and in and around. It's like, it starts even if you get 2 minutes off the bench. You've got to take it this day and age. You've just got to take it. It's on you to take your minutes. Like, let's not forget, he let us down against Crystal Palace last season. He got sent off. We ended up getting 3-0 and went on a bit of a spiral run because of it. I'm just at the point. It's honestly, it's like arguing over what 2 chocolate bars do I hate: Turkish Delight and throw another one at me. Just for instance, Kit Kat, even though I like Kit Kats. But shit, no point of arguing over them. At the end of the day, just get them gone. I'm sick of making excuses for them all. It's injuries, it's down to look, not good enough, get out. I'm at that point. I just no patience for them anymore. I've heard it 2-3 years. Oh, what if we do this? We just give them a bit of game time, give them a bit of confidence. We're not a social club. We're a fucking football club, and they're anti-football. It pisses me off. It really does. It really does. But look, Elias, we got to keep moving. Great calling today, by the way, brother.
Yeah, well done, Elias. Good conversation, my man. And we stayed away from Dyer as much as we could, but even when we got to Dyer, it was a productive conversation. I must say, it was a good one.
I know he's tactic, Jack. He comes on the fan show, doesn't speak about him, and then gives all the other 23 hours of the day about Dyer to me. I love that.
Clever man.
Did you have to say that?
Love it. Well, Elias,
good man, Elias. See you
great
soon.
calling today, brother.
Before I go, come on, you Spurs.
Yes,
good man. Come on, you Spurs.
Big up, Elias. Absolutely love that. See you soon, brother.
See you soon.
See you soon. Really good calling by Elias today. I really
time flew
enjoyed that.
by.
Some really good conversation.
Yeah, time flew by, Dave. Absolutely. To bottom Duda here with a super chat. Kulu and Richarlison's injury record is concerning, considering Sonny's form. Suddenly signing another winger looks important now. Yeah, like actually, to be honest, like he's spot on here, Dave, because you kind of look at Sonny's form. You would maybe want to play somebody else in case he's just continuing to have a bit of a dud of a performance. You'd want to bring on someone else to make an impact, but you also look at Lucas as well. So those are three attacking players to bottom due to Kulu, Richarlison, and Lucas that we've been basically consistently without this season. And I know a lot of people complain about the quality of the bench and complained about, of course, the investment in the squad. But I mean, let's be honest, Spurs are always going to be heavily hurt if they're missing three attacking options, basically, that would normally be on the bench or normally be players that they could bring on as an impact. If they're missing three of them, I mean, it's going to be rough and it's not going to look very, let's say attacking full or very positive on the bench. Still not a full excuse though, but let's be honest. I do feel like we are going to feel the effects of it when we've been without three attackers, and we've been without three attackers consistently this season, and their injury record's been concerning. I think of Richarlison's case, it's been more annoying if you ask me, Tabata Duda, because he's basically been brought in here to sort of fill in for Harry Kane when Harry Kane needs rest. And also when, let's say, we need that goal, when we're kind of struggling for maybe that striker that can, stretch the back line, maybe do a bit of that sort of number 9 work that sometimes Harry Kane kind of, when he likes to drop deep, we need someone to still behave like a number 9. Richarlison is perfect for that, and he's just not been available to do the things that we kind of brought him in to do, if that makes any sense. Like, he just hasn't. He's been played as a left winger because Kane was fully fit and he was available for us in the beginning of the season, but in these games when people need rest, when he can come on and play his position as a number 9, when he's had opportunities to play his preferred position, Richarlison, he's been hurt, and it's just been frustrating. And Lucas's position, injury has been frustrating, because that just means this whole season we've played with one less attacker.
Yeah, look, I don't think anyone could foresee the injury problems coming this season. Look, I thought in the summer we done enough to bring bodies in here and expand the squad, and I didn't foresee the amount of injury problems coming where, a lot of some of them players you have signed, or some of the good players you would argue, they've been injured or missing or whatever for large periods of time, and then it's kind of the shit that we've kept around, and we've kept them around because their attitudes were better than the players we let go. Unfortunately, they're playing and performances are dropping off a cliff, but and it's affecting our creativity, and it's getting to the point where we need a centre back, we need a right wing back. I argue we're not done that left wing back yet because we're bringing in a Doji next year, but Perisic will also be a year older, so you still have that to do. We need a goalkeeper this summer. We need another player in the forward area. You'd probably argue that we need a passer like what a Michael Carrick was, or a Luka Modric was, or an Eriksen was in that midfield as well. So there's a lot to get done to bottom do, but unfortunately, all the mishits, the keeping players around that aren't good enough to fill out a squad, it's all coming back to bite us in the ass. I think they tried to make good effort to try and claw some of it back, but unfortunately, years of failings have come up and caught us, especially with some of the signings we've made and the injuries that they've had. They haven't really been able to influence anything so far this season. So, this window, centre back, right wing back, and another player in the forward areas is where I'm at the bone. Richarlison's injuries, for all we know, could continue to happen. Lucas Moura is a complete write-off. What if Kane gets injured? We're fucked. Son, you don't know what you're going to get out of him when he plays now. So, it's just a shambles right now, man, in terms of injuries and options up in that forward area. Kulu's a huge loss, absolute massive loss. You could see that guy when he played the Leeds game. Look at the creativity that he brings. That's just the simple things. He just gets on the ball. He's direct. He runs at players. He uses his strength to bowl inside them and cut it back, or else he has the nous to cut inside, swing a different angle ball in behind the defence for a player running onto it. It's just that sort of thing we lack today, and I didn't see anyone really want to step up and do it either. It's quite frustrating, but the bottom do it's suddenly looking like that. I can't argue with you there, my man. big yourself up. But look,
Appreciate
we've
it, my
got
man.
two guests left in the background. I'm not sure if Mr. Brady is popping back in or whether he's having his
I
dinner.
think
I'm
Mr.
not
Brady
sure.
had some guests come over, so we might miss him tonight. We'll get him nice and early for the next one. That's what I texted him. But I think we got KPV, the man who cues the music from the beginning, Mr. KPV.
Let's get him on. Let's hear what he has to say. KPV, my man, how are you keeping after that result?
All good. Yeah, like
What you make of the game overall? Are you happy with the performance? You happy that we're through to the next round? Are you a bit disappointed? You know, where are you at with it?
I'm happy with through to the next round. Like, just as long as we don't get a Premier League team, like, then I'm happy. I want a home draw, like, not an away draw, because if we get an away draw, I'm gonna be fuming blood. Like, home draw only. Dermot said we played in all our games in London in 1981. So cheers for letting me know, Dermatron. Much appreciated, brother.
Do you think we could get Yaya Toure to help pick the fixtures for us then?
A City legend. Why not? He could help us. He's the academy coach. And
He helped us out in the Champions League, KPV.
yeah, but giving us the wrong team in SL, known as Sporting Lisbon, like, don't think it was the right choice. Anyway, like, still picking that group wasn't the best group, I don't think. I got it wrong. Should never have had that group. I'm not really.
Oh. Well, look, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'd say his probably phone has died or whatever, so I'm going to give him a minute. I'm going to bring up a comment here. Big up, Hasper. Good to see you. And he says, today showed how bad a squad that is, especially in defence. I would sell the whole back five today plus Dyer. I mean, look, man, I've been at that point.
What is it, Dave? Tanganga's got to go. Sanchez has got to go. We all have our opinions on Dyer, but we think he's got to go. That's 3. Davies eventually has to go. He really isn't good enough, but for the time being, he's probably not the total worst. So it's basically 4 of them. That has. You're absolutely right. Spot on.
100%. And then we've got Gesler Toon says, is there a problem with the medical team? It seems sometimes that Conte doesn't necessarily agree that the players should be out for so long. Look, I'm not sure if I'm being brutally honest. I think it's a combination of them being fitter than what they've ever been over the last few years. Under Nuno, they weren't fit. Under Jose, they weren't fit. Under Conte, they come in and they get supremely fit. And, you know, with such drastic change around, it will have a natural wear and tear on your body. And I wonder if that got something to do with it, that the fact that the fitness regimes over the last couple of years have been completely different from one another. I wonder has that got something to do with it? I'm not quite so sure, but look,
where I'm concerned, Dave, and where I'm maybe a bit worried about the medical team is that whenever we get these estimates from Conte, we get estimates about how long it will take for them to come back. Every single time we reach that deadline, and it's like Conte then gets hit with this sort of curveball where he's like, oh, I guess like we still have to do another MRI. Turns out like the progression on him returning wasn't as good as we thought. It just feels like they don't maybe do as quick of a job at returning them back, if that makes any sense. Like maybe the recovery process isn't the greatest. They don't seem to recover very well from the injuries, and that's where it's a concern. I can't really name a player in our squad that's come back better after an injury of any kind. Like they seem to sort of all take a long time to recover, go past the deadline or the estimated deadline, and I don't know, that's where I'm a little worried maybe, and that's where I could see.
So I wonder then, is the whole philosophy around it, the way they believe it should be dealt with, wrong then?
Perhaps,
maybe.
Yeah,
could be, but
perhaps
look,
they recover them too easily, or they don't train them, push them hard enough to get back to the deadline that they want. And also maybe there's some other things, like you said, behind the scenes that,
It's a shame considering we've spent so much money on all of the state-of-the-art facilities, but KPV is back. Good comment, Kessler too. KPV, my man. Oh,
let him in, Dave.
Jack's cutting you out now, KPV. So Jack's not letting out any dogs tonight, KPV. But sorry, where were you? Where were you before you were cut off, man?
I don't know. Like it must have kicked me off. Like something must have happened. A signal must have played up or something. So yeah, but I'm back. As I was saying, like yeah, like.
What did you make of Sessegnon today and Emerson, KPV? Probably the most frustrating players.
Yeah, they're not good enough. Like get them gone, get them jabronis out the club, get new players in, man. Like, as I said to Ellie yesterday, Royale only had a good game. That was against Newcastle when we won 5-1 towards the end of last season. That was his only good game. But since then, it's been shocking. So get him gone. Like, yeah, get him gone and get Sessegnon gone. I know we only signed him. That was under Poch. So he's not a Conte signing. It was a Poch signing. And, like, yeah, so even though he scored a couple of goals already this season, still not good enough. Get him gone. Get, Tanganga gone. But can't send him to AC Milan because we've got them in the draw. We got them in the last 16, so we can't sell Tanganga there. Conte won't let it happen. Levy won't, so I sell him to somebody else. Napoli maybe. Napoli. Send him there. Play with Endom Fatos, who looks like he's going to join them permanently.
That's a good destination for him, probably. Absolutely
probably.
Right.
But like, I'm happy we're in the next round. As I said, I just want a home draw, not a Premier League team, because any Premier League team we play, we always seem to lose. But at least Palace are out. Like, there's a few more games going on, and but like, anyway, I'm happy we're through to the next round, and like.
PV, can I ask you? There were so many Premier League teams that are going to get knocked out today, guaranteed knocked out. I think at least 5. Now we've seen even Forest. You and I were speaking at the back end. They got smacked 4-0 or 4-1 by Blackpool. We won at the end of the day, and a lot of Premier League teams were knocked out. That's a good thing ultimately, right? Better chance for us. Maybe we got lucky.
Yeah, Everton are out, and like, but Leicester are through. Newcastle playing in just a few minutes away at Sheffield Wednesday. Like, I think Newcastle's probably going to win that, unfortunately. So, yeah, Newcastle.
But I think tomorrow there are going to be a lot of Premier League teams facing each other, so they will knock each other out, which is good.
Yeah, Chelsea play Man City again. Like, they played each other in the Carabao Cup, and City won by 1-0. They just played on Thursday at Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea lost. So City's going to knock them out again. Like, City, Chelsea, like, they just like playing each other, and City's going to win. So I think the game's tomorrow. So City's going to win now, unfortunately. Anyone who's a Chelsea fan, I'm afraid I've got some bad news, but you're getting smashed. You just lost already. So goodbye.
Harry Potter out of his depth, KPV.
Yeah, Graham Potter, like, I've got a friend who's Moroccan and he's not happy with the job he's doing. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
He's not happy with Graham Potter. He's not happy with Harry Potter.
Nah, he's not happy because he's got some friends with Chelsea fans and they think he's going to win the FA Cup or Champions League with Chelsea, but it's not going to happen. So anyone who thinks that Chelsea's going to win it with Graham Potter, no chance. Like, Tuchel won the Champions League, but should have been given more time, but unfortunately just wasn't to be for him. But the German goes, and then the Bayern boss comes in. Like, they're shit. They're shit. Everyone knows they are. Like, just don't like them. We should have won at the bridge, but a point. And we've got to play them at home. So, like, that's in February, March time. So,
what did you make of Papa Matasar and Hill Messi today, KPV? Best players for you alongside Kane?
Cheers, Tom. Yeah.
Everyone loves you, KPV. Everybody.
KPV army is strong.
It's strong. You've got an army going now, my man.
Yeah. Pape Matasar, a beast again. Another brilliant performance. Done it against Palace. And Brian Hill, another brilliant performance. Hill Messi, like, I don't want him going on loan. And I hear Inter want Sarr, but no, thank you. No, no one's having him. Sorry.
Would you let Hill go out on loan or just no to both? You know, keep them here?
I'd keep them both here. Keep, nice. Sarr, the next Dembele, the beast. Like
Papa Musar, or what is it? Papa
Musar. Yeah, Papa Musar, yeah. The beast.
Yeah. Papa Musar Sarbele.
Yeah, that's the name. And Hill Messi, like, another brilliant performance. He hit the crossbar, I think, and he could have scored. But like now we roll on to Sunday next week, the big game, and Kane could have broken it, but only got one today. But like he's going to score at least,
It's
next
going to
week.
happen in the North London Derby, though, KPV. That's the
It's
big
going to
question.
happen,
Is he
yeah,
going to
it's
break
gonna.
Jimmy Green's record?
Hat trick from Harry Class Day, please. Then the whole stadium's going to be walking, and hopefully my guy Cooler Sexy will be back, because I've told everyone this many times. He's never lost the North London Derby. He was injured for the Emirates. Unfortunately, we lost. If it wasn't for that Loris Howler, like if he was in a team, we still would have won that. But he's not lost the North London Derby. Only Bentancur did. He played, and but Kulu's never lost it. So Kulu, you're the Swedish Thierry Henry, my man. He never lost the North London Derby. Thierry Henry never did. But we've got the next Thierry, the Swedish Thierry Henry. That's his name. Ginger from Sweden, Swedish Thierry Henry. So everyone, look out for the Swedish Thierry Henry on Sunday in the North London Derby next week, because he's important for our chase for top 4 European football. And if he is out for the rest of the season, then we're not going to get it. But he should be available. Bentancur should be back, hopefully. And I saw on Twitter that Charleston was playing a 5-a-side, so he's expected back. But I don't think Richie's coming back, because he loves scoring against the filth. But that's Kane and Son. But Son, another, like, he was great on Wednesday, but poor today. But anyway,
what's with the up and downs, KPV? When you look at Son, what do you think could be going wrong? Because look, you've got a good football knowledge, you've got a good football brain, you've got an incredible football memory, that's for sure. I mean, you pull up stats from 2001 and rhyme them off like they're not, and I absolutely love it. But when you look at Son, what do you think is the problem with him right now? Because look, he's a long way off the player that we know he can be. For me, I'm not throwing in the towel. I'm nowhere near ready to give up on him. But you know, when I listen to a lot of people speak about him, no one can really put their finger on it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think it's the mask that's not letting him see the ball properly. Like, maybe the mask is the problem. Like, yeah, the mask is not letting him see the ball because he can't see it. Like, he said it and he's not happy about it. And I agree with him. I understand he can't see the ball. Like, he can't see it. Like, if he wears it in a North London derby like Kane did, and Kane scored and he took the mask off, like, then yeah, don't wear it. Jan Vertonghen wore it for the Ajax game in Amsterdam. We still won, but like, they must have been when him and Toby clashed heads in the first leg at home. But
Kane wore one in the North London derby as well. He's you know, anyway, why can't we get Son a see-through mask, KPV, where maybe he can see out either side then?
yeah, he's wearing the black one, because the one that Kane wore, he could see it. Like, maybe he should wear the one that Kane wore. It was a silver one, a white mask. Like, maybe the doctors have given Son the wrong mask to wear. The one Kane wore was probably the better one, but change the mask, the medical team, change it. Like, they're just the problem. Like, Kulu's not been playing, and we need to check when he's playing. Like, we need him back for this game. Home, like, Perisic home debut in the North London derby. Fortunately, as I said, we lost the Emirates because we never win there. But Perisic home debut in the North London derby. Like, hopefully he can provide more assists. And Longley, North London derby at home. I know he played in the Emirates one as well. So players, Romero didn't play in the home one because he was injured at Anfield. So Romero should be playing in this one, at home debut against them. So dreams do come true. Harvey White came on, and yeah, I thought done quite well, but he just got the ball taken off. But yeah, dreams do come true for Harvey White, and hopefully we'll see him maybe come off the bench and have a great cameo against the Filth, and hopefully he might score. Like,
that'd be nice. That'd be
nice. Harvey White, like, he is a great player and he's one for the future. Like, he's brilliant. But
like, pop him out to Sarri, Hill Messi, good players for the future. Yeah.
they're the future.
Last maybe question for you, KPV, before we let you sign out your way, my man, because I look forward to them. But look, I think the bottom Duter raised a good question where he was saying, in the forward line, probably, it looks like an emergency. We all know right wing back is for me. I think centre back is as well. Where do we start? Look, obviously, ideally, in an ideal world, we want all three, but where do we start? Well, what's the biggest priority for you if you had to pick one?
I'd probably say a centre back would be probably the priority. Like the ones I said, centre backs are not good enough. Yes, Sean, whoever it is. Very right. Yeah, like centre back probably the main priority. Like I don't know any centre backs are available. Anyone in the chat, name a few who you'd want, and let us know.
I'd say if you went over to say you could probably get half the MLS over here and it'd be better than some of the options we've got.
Like, yeah, why not get the MLS centre backs over here? Name me a few in that league, and who cares? Who knows? Like, name me a few MLS centre backs, people, and let me know who you want, and I'll try and react. But anyway, I'm off to listen to Who Let the Jabronis Out. Yeah, and I think it's Poch calling me now.
Go hang out with Poch, KPV.
Poch wants a game of FIFA, I think. That's why he's ringing you. He wants a game of FIFA.
Yeah, he still wants one, I still, yeah. But I think he said he's going to be at the North London Derby and cheering on the Spurs lads. So, yeah, he's going to be there and he hopes we win. So, yeah, but yeah, and unfortunately, Sim's not going to be back for a while because I just spoke to him and he said he's not going to come back for a while. So, yeah, it's going to be Ben and Brian Daigle in the studio, but Ben and Daigle will be at the game next weekend. So, the pub is going to be walking. I'll be in the pub watching it and getting the beers out, everyone. So, make sure
your buckets out
get the beers out and scream louder when we win. And I'll be watching the highlights. Hat trick from Harry Class, there, you know the rest. And come on. And yeah, so I'm going to sign out here. And here it goes. And as always, Levy, Enoch out. Everybody else in. Come on, you Spurs. Conte we trust. North London is white. And this is our year to win the FA Cup. And the double is still on. The double's still on. Yay.
Love it. Big up, KPV.
Big up, man. See you next week.
We'll
catch you, KPV. Good man.
Love it, KPV. See you soon, my man.
Bye.
See you soon, brother. Really enjoyed that from KPV. Really cheers me up at times. You don't know what he's going to come out with. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. Frank Last, I don't know what your problem is. Even yesterday you were putting in Harris out on one of the shows that was put up last night. I don't know what your problem is. Let me know in the chat what your problem is and we'll have a discussion. I don't know. But look, let's keep moving. Let's get Phil on. Phil, how are you keeping, my man?
I'm all right, lads. Are you?
Yeah, look, I'm happy with the next round. I just feel let down by the performance overall, Phil.
Yeah, the result. Well, yeah, I'm happy with the result. The performance, I'm disappointed in, if I'm honest. There's just so many, the fringe players that played today. They don't want to be there at the club, do they? Let's be honest. They don't. No. They don't want to be there. So it's going to take time for them to get out of the club. So yeah, we just got to persevere with them at the minute because they are there, and we just got to get behind them as much as we can. But
yeah,
it's devastating to see these players not performing on every time they come into the starting 11, and yeah, it's not on really.
Who really stuck out to you as a player that just you feel like is just done at Tottenham Hotspur? Was it Sessegnon, Tanganga? Which one do you think is just?
Well, Sessegnon is a little bit of a surprise to me because when he was at Fulham, he was banging in the goals, getting assists. I know it was at a championship level, but you expected him to sort of play the way he did at Fulham and kick on with us, but he's just declined.
Yeah.
But
Is
I
he
mean,
just too predictable? Like we've been saying, you know, in the watch-alongs, we just say he's just way too predictable. He's a little clunky.
he's just not good enough at this level. I don't think. It's the same as Emerson, same as Tanganga. You know, there's a few others, but yeah, they're just not good enough for this level. And we're on about trying to get them out, but we're going to struggle to get them out because teams won't want to buy them. We won't get the right value for them because they're just not performing on the pitch for us at the minute. So it's going to be difficult to get them out the door.
I mean, you kind of look at them both, really. We paid a fair price for Sassignon, and we also paid a fair price for Emerson. And, you know, with how shocking they were today, it does, you know, make you think of, you know, how wrong we've always gotten it with these wing backs or fullbacks. Like, it's just an area with recruitment we've never seemed to do well in.
Yeah, no, we don't. But it is like for Conte's style of play. And people are, you know, putting in the comments and various other YouTube channels as well. They're saying that, you know, Conte has to take the blame, but he hasn't got his squad yet. He hasn't got his squad. I mean, his wing backs are so vital to his system. We've got shit wing backs.
And I feel like they're in good areas. Like, he's putting them in good areas. They're just doing nothing with it. Like, you see Sassignon, he's one-on-one with his man every time, and it's just, he just does the same thing.
I mean, you look at Conte at Inter, and you look at him at Chelsea, he had quality wing backs. Do you know what I mean? And he's come to Tottenham with fucking dross. It's shit. So I mean, he's fighting a losing battle straight away with the wing backs he's got, and it's so vital to his system.
You were talking about Pedro Porro to me in the chat earlier. Do you feel like we're desperate for that to work out this January?
I heard that on Last Word of Spurs. I don't know if you guys know that YouTube channel, but yeah, they said on there that we've agreed a deal in principle. So I don't know what that actually means, but it could be that we've agreed the deal. But let's hope. We need someone in that position. I don't care who it is, to be honest.
What did you make of Skippy today, Phil? Like, that was another player that we also thought was well off the mark. I mean, he's gotten some minutes recently since, you know, the World Cup. I feel like he's just not made much of, you know, compared to someone like Papa Matasar, who's taken good advantage of these minutes he's been given. Skippy has looked well off it. What did you make of him?
Sar's taken over Skip, I think, now. I think Skip needs to go on loan. It's sad to see because he's been on loan already and tried to impress the club and, you know, go out on loan, but he just needs to go somewhere else. Maybe I know he's a youth product and he's come through our academy and that, but he's not good enough, is he? I just, you know, every time I see him play, he's not good enough at the minute. I don't know if that's because he's not had enough game time or what. I don't know, but it's just, it's not good enough.
Stuff today, though, Phil. It's just the basics where he's letting himself down, like, you know, passing the ball 5-10 yards. You know,
it's his touch as well, though. You know, his touch is way off. I mean, I think it was the first half that he touched the ball in front of him too far, and it was like
he nearly killed a Portsmouth player after that heavy touch on one of
them.
Like,
he could have got sent off for that, to be honest with you. It was a nasty challenge as well, that was. But yeah, there's a lot of players here that aren't good enough, and we're just going to have to persevere with them at the minute. So, but yeah.
Just on Sarr and Skip. When you look at Skip, it's like he's nervous when the ball comes to him. But when you look at Sarr, he just looks so comfortable. Comfortable. You know, he wants the ball. He wants to try and play. And I think that's the difference between them right now. One is playing with a bit of confidence, you would say, and the other is just isn't. And look, I don't know what's gone on with Skip, whether his injuries has affected his progression and stuff like that. But for me, like, even when he was in the team under Nuno, I never looked at him as that player that got forward, that you know, had that pass in him, this, that, and the other. I always thought he was very similar to Højbjerg, but he's really rattled at the minute. And for me, I think
he's not an exciting player to watch, is he?
No.
Do you know what I mean? He doesn't
I'm not sure what he does, Phil.
I know.
I don't see him making them challenges to go and win the ball. I see him getting skinned easy. I don't see him making great passes. I'm just struggling to look at him and see what he does, you know?
But this is what I said earlier in the comments. I said that we're missing that spark, that creativity in the middle. we've missed that since Eriksen's gone. I know. I mean, Conte's played that system where he played Eriksen at Inter Milan. Do you know what I mean? So he can use them type of players in his system. But it's I'd go for Maddison. Maddison's my number one choice for me. We need to go after him, to be honest. But yeah, we are missing that creativity in the middle massively.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more, my man. We're definitely missing that creativity. But what do you make of the performances today? You know, is it coming from Conte? You know, the safeness, the safetiness on the ball and stuff like that, or is that just down to the players themselves?
No, it's down to the players. He hasn't got the squad he wants yet. So he's playing players that don't want to be at the club, low on confidence, and just they don't want to be there, do they? Do you know what I mean? They don't want to perform for this football club. So it's difficult. He's in a difficult situation, Conte, because I keep repeating it. He hasn't got his squad, and people don't realise that at the minute.
It just feels like he only has like an 11 to pick from, sort of confidently. Like Doherty, I guess, has kind of come back into his graces, but he still doesn't really have a right wing back he can confidently pick in. The midfield, I think, for the time being, is good enough, and the front line has just had a plague of injuries really this season. And so you do have to also acknowledge, I think, that as well as just the front line simply has just been too consistently injured, and that's also been a huge hindrance. But I think we've all come to terms with we really should have focused on that defense in the summer. I think that's where we really come to terms. And even the fringe defenders we have are just no way, not even close to good enough. Not even close.
No, he's gonna have to have a few transfer windows before he gets what he wants. Do you know what I mean? And it all depends on whether Levy's going to back him or not as well. But on to the Arsenal game, I've got a feeling we're gonna do him over. I think we will. I really do.
I'm going into this. It's the least confidence I've ever been going into a North London derby. So I need to know where it's coming from, Phil.
No, with the players that we've got back, we had a good performance against Palace with our players. Do you know what I mean? That start every week, and hopefully Keelu's back. I'm praying that he's back, to be honest with you, because we do need him. And he'll be a difference. He'll be the difference in the game. But I've got a feeling we're going to beat them. I've got a feeling we will.
Yeah, I find that hard. Look, I think this is a different Arsenal team than in the last couple of years. I think they're playing with a bit of confidence right now. Look, going forward, they're doing well as well. They're a lot more creative than when we played them at the back end of last season. Saka's on form, Martinelli's on form. Look, I think the clean sheet against Palace was a bit of a confidence boost, but let's be honest, it's the first time that's happening in how long, you know? For me, I don't think we are going to keep a clean sheet. I think the game's going to come down to us maybe having to outscore them. But if we don't have Kulu, we don't have Bentancur, we don't have, I think, Højbjerg will be fine. But if we don't have Kulu or Bentancur, our best 11 out there, I think we're largely going to struggle, because Arsenal will just have to, all they have to do is, when we have a pure possession, sit in, wait until one of our passes goes astray, which it inevitably does, and then count.
They'll be devastating.
The fans are going to be a massive difference, I think.
Absolutely.
I think they've got to get behind the lads straight from the off. I mean, if Arsenal score the first goal, it's going to be, the fans are going to be on a low and probably not get behind them. But it all depends on what our starting 11 is. I'm optimistic anyway. I think we can beat them. If it was away, then I'll probably be saying that they're probably going to beat us. But,
that's fair.
Because it's at home and the fans are going to get behind us. I think
Kulusevski, if we have Kulusevski back for that one, I will have a lot of confidence going into it, because we know how crucial he is for us, and we know he can even get the best out of maybe a Sonny or something. Maybe, who knows, he could help get Sonny back off the mark and all that. But Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to need you this week, Phil. If you're feeling optimistic, we're going to need you this week, my man.
I don't know. Maybe I'm too optimistic, but I do think we'll win. Not convincingly, obviously, but I think it'll be close. But I think we'll do. I think Harry Kane will break that Jimmy Greaves record as well on the day.
Love it. Love it.
It's written, man. It's written.
I hope he does. I'll definitely shed a tear when he does, because I don't think I'd probably see the goal scoring record broke again in my lifetime at Tottenham. So, you know, it's been a privilege, to be honest with you. And when he does break it, to watch this guy. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens, my man.
Yeah. Well.
Look, you know, a lot about the transfer window now. I mean, look, ideally we need probably 3 signings in here. What's priority for you, Phil?
Yeah, what's priority?
Wing backs. I think centre back is important, but I think wing backs are just crucial to Conte's system. We need to get him out. Obviously, we've got a Doji coming in next year, and we need him in now. Really, I don't know if we can sort that contract out so he can come in January. I don't know if that's in his contract, but I'd like to see that happen. But yeah, for me, a creative midfielder as well over a centre back. To be honest with you, I'd rather have a right wing back and a creative midfielder like a Maddison and Porro. That's who I'd bring it.
I think
we are massive. We're just lacking that creativity at the moment. That spark in the midfield.
We can almost get away with no. I think we do need midfielders because Skip is proving not to be good enough for this season, but.
But they're all the same.
If I'm desperate the most, it's wing back and center back. For me, it's wing backs and center backs.
All the midfielders that we have, they're all similar types of midfielder. We need someone like a McAllister or an Ericsson, Maddison, someone like that who can create the goals for Harry Kane, because he doesn't really get that service. Harry Kane drops quite a lot and tries to come and get the ball, where I'd like to see him in the box as well. Do you know what I mean? Getting crosses in from a good wing back or creative midfielder to get him an assist. So, but yeah, Sonny as well. I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah,
I haven't got a clue what's going on with him at the minute.
Is he just like a step behind? And like Dave was saying, and that's why people are reading him, because that's what I don't get, is that he's trying different things, but people just keep reading it.
Yeah, I mean, he might have lost a little bit of pace for me. I don't know. Against Villa, Ashley Young was keeping up with him every time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's lost a bit of pace, to be honest. But I get what you're saying, Jack. Like today, he was getting read by League One players. So that was a bit.
One of them he got really worrying
for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. And I just don't know what it is, Phil, because it's not like he's trying the same thing every time, if you know what I'm saying by that. Like, he's cutting inside. Next time, he'll, like, try to take it down the byline. But no matter what, the defender seems to have no problem, really.
Yeah.
And that's.
But you've got to play him regardless.
Sure.
I would play him regardless. Even if we had a replacement for him, I'd still play him because he is a world-class player. Yeah. I've had this debate with on Savage show about him being world-class. I think he's world-class.
I mean, last season, I think you have to be world class, or at least close to being, if you're winning the Golden Boot, in the Premier League. I mean, it's only won by one player. I mean, he shared it, I guess, with Salah, but he really won it because he didn't take any penalties.
Yeah, I mean, these type of players have dropped, a drop in form sometimes. Do you know what I mean? But you've got to have these class players on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? If they weren't on the pitch, you never know what they could do. So. You just need to have them in your starting 11, them type of players, like Harry Kane as well. So, yeah, you've got to keep him on the pitch for me.
I just look at Sonny, even moments there today where he's facing up the fullback. And look, I understand that there was sometimes they doubled up on him, but Sonny gone by, I would have seen him jink between them, put the ball between one of their legs, he's gone, cut inside and curl one in. And it's like, right now, even some of the shooting positions he's taken up, you wouldn't normally see Son do it, or even some of the positions he's had. You would usually see him pull the trigger maybe that slight bit quicker and get that whip on it. I just love to get Son.
He just doesn't look. He doesn't look sharp. He doesn't look sharp to me. He's not sharp, is he? Do you know what I mean? With his touches and his little drop of the shoulder that he used to do. Do you know what I mean?
He's just not on it.
He's lost that spark for me. And he just needs to get that by scoring goals and getting assists, doesn't he? Really, but he can only do that on the pitch, guy. If he's out of form and you're not playing him, then you've got to keep them players on the pitch.
Yeah,
without a doubt, for me, you have to.
Were you able to comment on? Were you able to comment quickly on Spence yet, Phil? I'm not sure if I heard you yet talk about Spence being left out and that kind of politics of that situation. Because Sebas Wolf saying, I'm starting to believe there's something more behind Spence not playing. Conte is playing pretty much all of our youngsters, but him just doesn't make sense. So every youngster he's shown some sort of time to and kind of praised, except Spence.
Yeah, I didn't get that today one bit. I expected him to start Spence over Emerson Royale because I think Emerson's going to be leaving anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, Spence will probably be going on loan by the looks of today. But he's taking the piss out of the lads a little bit because he's playing against Portsmouth today. It's a League One side. Why not just give him a chance for 90 minutes just to see what he can do?
Yeah.
A proper chance, not like 20 minutes, half hour here and there. He hasn't been given the chance, and Conte's just making a point every single week to Levy that we need this wing back. Yeah, he just keeps doing it every single week.
You have to feel for Spence though, being the pawn in that sort of chess game, right?
Yeah, you do. And I thought he was a good player when he played for Forest. I don't get where Conte's coming from. He's just making a point to lead it. That's all it is. That's all he's doing. And Spence is in the middle of it.
Should Conte have been put in that position though in the first place, though, Phil? Like, this is the problem, Look, I think everyone feels so bad for Spence, but Conte shouldn't be put in this position where he has to do that, right? Things should just be done right in the first place.
Yeah, they should have just gone after a wing back that was number one choice. That was a number one choice wing back, not like a young up and coming wing back that he's not going to trust straight away. He wants proven players, to kick on straight away. That's what he wants. He wants starting 11 players. He doesn't want fringe players or young players that are coming through. Yeah. He wants players to go into the first 11.
If we had a proper first 11 or a proper 16, 17 players, do you think Conte would mind as much then someone like Spence coming in? And do you think he'd probably even play him in games like today? If that was the case, if it was the other way around?
He needs that mix of 15, 16 quality players that are experienced in the Premier League or experienced in Europe, in the Champions League and so on. And that mix of young players as well coming through. That's what you got to have. You can't have like 8 first team players and then the rest fringe players. Yeah. It doesn't work like that. You're fighting a losing battle. You've always got to have that squad, that 14, 15 quality players in your squad, and then you can rotate with young players coming through. But he's got the squad he's got. It's not Conte's fault.
I just feel bad for both Conte and Spence because it feels like they're both put in a bad situation where Conte is put in a situation where he's, ultimately looking like he's being way too harsh on Spence, right? People are kind of getting on his back for this Spence situation, but he almost doesn't need to be put in that situation to look, like that. And the same thing with Spence. Spence doesn't need to be put through all of this, as some sort of chess piece in this kind of battle between him and the ownership. It's just unfair, I think. Actually,
put it this way. If Conte had a team, the same as Inter Milan, and he was in this league, how well would he be doing now? Do you know what I mean? That's the way you got to look at it, really. He had a great squad there and won the league.
Yeah.
We haven't got a squad like that, and he's and that's on Levy. That's on Levy definitely because he's not backing him.
Sure. My whole thing is I thought we were bringing in Conte to make up from the errors from the past, but then we still see some of these errors. Look, I have no problem the club identifying a player for the future and bringing him in here. But if you're gonna do that, you've got to bring in another guy that he wants as a first choice as well. You know, it's just I thought we're bringing in content to do things right, not go so far and then still do some of the old shit that has you in this mess in the first place.
Yeah, he's a world-class manager, Dave. Do you know what I mean? He's got to have world-class players to work with. He's got to have the tools to do the job, and he hasn't got them tools at the minute. So, you know, he's fighting a losing battle.
It's like asking someone to build a house and just giving them a screwdriver. You know, it's not right.
Exactly.
It's not right.
Exactly.
Well, Phil, really appreciate your time this afternoon. Another great call in. I love our conversations on Tottenham, my man, and hopefully we'll see you.
Mate.
Catch you soon, Phil. Good man.
Nice one, lads.
We need you this week. Need you.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come
Big up, my man.
Come on.
Big up, Phil. Legend. Well, look, there we have it. Pre-match build-up, watch-along, and post-match fan show today. Hopefully, we've given you guys enough content. Hopefully, you've enjoyed yourself. I'll be honest, I'm off to have a shower and probably still be pissed off at Spurs for another 4 or 5 hours until I get my anger taken out on FIFA or Football Manager or something like that. But I want to thank absolutely everybody involved today, you know, from the pre-match build-up to the watch-along and to the post-match fan show. Everybody that's tuned in with us over the course of the day. Absolutely unbelievable support. You know, the guys that formed the panel earlier for the build-up with me, Jack as well for today. Not the best of performances, but we're in the 4th round hat, and that's probably what all that matters at the end of the day. Could be worse. Could be sitting here about being knocked out by Portsmouth. It didn't happen. But look, some positives, but some negatives we can't take our eyes off. But Jack, anything you want to say before I call it a day, brother?
Looking forward to the fan show. Looking forward to kind of moving on to the week of North London Derby. Let's be honest, we're going to have to get some hope there. We hope for some good injury kind of returns or some good injury news when it comes to Bentancur, Kulusevski, and just need the Harris Army and everybody to kind of pump us up for this North London Derby. So looking forward to a good week. This one's been fun with the likes of Crystal Palace was definitely something we needed. But yeah, everybody, good week of work here with the Irish Hotspur, and then move on to the next one as well as the team. Big up, everybody.
Big up, everybody. Well, look, we're not going to keep you any longer because you have to go and enjoy your Saturday night. Go and have a few drinks, have a bath, chill out, watch a couple of movies, whatever it may be, you know, that you like to do to relax. But it's a good job. Spurs have done over and early tonight. Go and enjoy yourselves. As always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
In Conte, we trust.
Conte, I trust.